Time, multiple lawsuits have been filed against states for using Nutriloaf as a disciplinary measure. In Vermont, 2008, a judge ruled that serving Nutriloaf as punishment without a hearing violated inmates' Eighth Amendment rights, protection against cruel and unusual punishment. Similar challenges have appeared in New York, Illinois, and Pennsylvania, often citing both the psychological and physical effects of forced consumption. Still, the practice has persisted in some jurisdictions under different names: disciplinary loaf, behavioral meal, or control diet. And it's not only about the loaf. In some prisons, entire food privileges are stripped away. In Arizona, under Sheriff Joe Arpaio, inmates were once served green bologna and stale bread, meals so notorious they became national headlines. Arpaio defended it as tough justice, even bragging that his meals cost less than dog food. But health inspections later revealed some of the meat was past expiration, and inmates reported widespread foodborne illness. When food becomes part of the punishment, it no longer serves rehabilitation, it serves domination. Nutrition turns into a message: you are powerless, and even what you eat is not yours to control. For many incarcerated people, this constant deprivation builds resentment and despair, conditions that often erupt into riots or hunger strikes. In the end, it's a cycle. Bad food leads to unrest, unrest leads to punishment, and the punishment is more bad food. The business of prison food. If you follow the money behind prison meals, the story grows even darker. What began as a government duty, to feed those in state custody, has quietly evolved into a multi-billion-dollar private industry where profit margins often outweigh basic human nutrition. The rise of private food contractors. In the 1980s and 1990s, as U.S. incarceration rates exploded, states began outsourcing nearly everything inside prisons: medical care, phone calls, commissaries, and, eventually, food services. That's when companies like Aramark Correctional Services, Trinity Services Group, and Summit Food Service stepped in. At first, the arrangement seemed efficient. States could cut budgets while letting large corporations handle logistics. But soon, investigative reports showed a grim trade-off: the cheaper the contract, the worse the meals. A 2017 New York Times analysis found that in some state prisons, contracts were awarded to the lowest bidder, even when that meant serving fewer calories or cutting sanitation staff. In Michigan, Aramark's $145 million contract saved the state money but led to hundreds of health code violations within 2 years. Maggots in food trays. Food tampering by staff. Under or overcooked meat. The list ran longer. Prison kitchens, the dark truth about what inmates eat. A tray of food might seem simple, but behind bars, it tells a darker story. In America's prisons, a single meal can expose everything wrong with the system: corruption, neglect, punishment disguised as nourishment. What's really cooking inside prison kitchens, and how did food become a weapon in the justice system? Tonight, we step inside the kitchen walls few civilians ever see, and uncover what inmates are really fed. Before we dive into today's The Meal Behind Bars. For millions of incarcerated men and women in the United States, the daily prison meal is more than just sustenance, it's a symbol of control. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are served according to strict schedules, often costing the state less than $2 per inmate per day. In some facilities, it's even less, around $1.15 according to a 2017 investigation by the Marshall Project. The numbers tell a story before you even taste the food. Feeding over 2 million people cheaply is an impossible balancing act. Cornbread instead of bread. Powdered milk instead of dairy. Soy filler instead of meat. The priority isn't nutrition, it's budget efficiency. But the deeper truth lies not only in what's on the tray, but in how it's made. Prison kitchens are supposed to follow the same health codes as any other institutional facility. In reality, many fall drastically short. Investigations in states like Michigan, Florida, and Texas have repeatedly found unsanitary kitchens, infestations, and expired ingredients. A 2016 Detroit Free Press report on Michigan's Aramark-run prison kitchens revealed maggots found near serving lines, undercooked meat, and food theft by staff and inmates alike.